FBI has now opened an investigation into that vicious brawl, as 3 out of the 5 suspects who've been arrested so far are expected to be arraigned this morning. The 2 men and 1 woman are now all facing charges of felony assault and aggravated riot. The suspect in the middle of your screen, Montanez Merriweather, was indicted earlier this month on other felony charges. According to Cincinnati's police union, which sounded off on the court system, saying Merriweather only had to pay $400 to post bail and walk out of jail on those previous charges. In the horrific video, you can see a white man being repeatedly punched and kicked by a group of black men and women in downtown Cincinnati on Saturday at around 3 a.m. Then you see a woman get knocked out cold with blood on her face, and bystanders are just recording on their phones instead of stepping in. Cincinnati's police chief, Teresa Fiji, said only 1 person called 911 in a crowd of 100 or so people. But police haven't said what led to the fight, and the outrage continues to grow as people demand to know why the brutal attack even took place. U.S. Republican Senator John Husted from Ohio said he talked with 3 of the victims.
I called all 3 of them. There may have been more in conversations with them. They didn't understand why. I know maybe more facts will come out in this situation, but this is the point that's true. This is happening in America across our cities like it did in Cincinnati.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel real quick, man. It's your boy Hood. This Hood Films. We doing Black Outrage number 30. We talking about this guy right here behind me. He real famous, known all over the world as Hulk Hogan. However, he passed last week, and it's been some real tumultuous stuff come down on his name. So we just gonna talk about it real quick and see, is he somebody that needs to be honored? And it's like really some bad conversations coming about him, and there's some good conversations coming about it. The guy, he had a long legacy of fame, and black folks is basically not feeling him, for lack of better words. So we'll just let this guy talk. Let's see what he got to say. I really don't use this person's opinion too much, but I'm interested in seeing what his opinion is. This particular person, his name Jason Willard. We're gonna get to some other opinions as well, but this is this guy's opinion. And welcome to the channel. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Come hang out with us. I'm your boy Hood. I'm the host, and we're gonna get right to the message. Let's get to it.
Went after Hulk Hogan. They went after Hulk Hogan and trashed him over his the racial rant that that they released in 2015. I believe he said these things in 2007. It was some kind of recorded deal in 2007, but it wasn't released until 2015. And if you remember, the WWE disavowed, moved away from Hulk Hogan in 2015. He's on this audio tape, this audio recording, talking about his daughter dating a black guy, and he wishes that his daughter was dating one of those 8-foot tall N-words that was worth $100 million playing in the NBA. And this canceled Hulk Hogan for some people. This came out in 2015. But for a lot of people, it did not cancel Hulk Hogan, because a lot of people, like myself, like, hey, man, if my private conversations, things I said to my friends, family, in private, if they ever went public, holy cow, you could cancel me as well. And then there was a lot of Hulk, I think, in a Sirius XM interview, was telling stories about rapper friends or people he would see out, celebrities he would see out in Miami and in public, that would call him the N-word in, ninja, or with the A, not the hard R. And then they would tell him, he would complain or say, hey, man, what are you doing calling me that word? And they'd say, no, you can say it. There's videos of Hulk Hogan riding around listening to rap music. He's been inundated with the N-word from black people. And he talked about that during a Sirius XM interview. And he talked a lot of things that were politically incorrect. And so for a number of black people, Hulk Hogan being racist, cancels him. And I just happen to live in a more nuanced, transparent, honest place. Like if racism or alleged racism or saying the N-word canceled people, virtually all of us would be canceled. And probably a higher percentage of black people would be canceled than white people. And that's not me saying white people are better than black people. That's me saying the reality is that black people are so comfortable with their anti-white racism that we say it, we use it, we go on national TV and say things that white people would never be allowed to say. And it's just the reality. We've built a society, a culture where black people can be incredibly racist without any consequences, whereas white people cannot be. And Hulk Hogan, a prime example of this. Anscape, the ESPN platform that covers sports and race, they did a story yesterday. I think it's David Dennis did the story, and it was all about how Hulk Hogan's entire legacy has been wiped out, wrestling and everything, because of these racial things or racist rant that got released in 2015. I want to read an excerpt from the article.
Let's go back here. What's up, V Couch, Villy Kata? What's up, Thing One? I appreciate y'all coming to check out the channel, checking out the show, Black Outrage number 30. So the guy said a couple of statements that I just don't agree with. Number one, black people using the word nigga. I'm sorry, the N-word. I don't believe that should give license to other people to say the word. Just because people say a word, just because you play music that you determine to play in your own brain, you determine what you stream, you determine what music you into, that don't give you license to disrespect other people. People say what they want to say in a country called freedom of speech. So saying a person can say a word or like a word or a culture uses a word, don't give another person license to use that word, especially in a derogatory way. The other point about it is that why does other people using a word make you so fervently want to say it? Let's just say the word hedge fund. I could say the word hedge fund all the time. It probably wouldn't offend nobody. But will I have one? Can I go create a hedge fund? Can I go to a business and say, or a bank and say, hey, let me talk to you about my hedge fund? Most times, 100% of the time, they're going to kick me out their fucking bank. And if I do have a hedge fund, they're going to run me through so many parameters to make sure it's legit, above board, whatever kind of stuff you got to do to check it out with the white people at the top, they're going to do that. They're not just going to let me walk around with a hedge fund. So technically, I can say hedge fund as many times as I want to. I'm never going to actually have one unless I go through the proper channels, which mean what? White people have to oversee it. Secondarily, if you say the word in and you constantly say the word in, it don't make you an in. It don't make you close to ends. It don't make you feel like an in. You're just saying a word. You come around people who don't like that word, they get to treat you just like that bank. They get to double check you. They get to go up to the highest level of ends and see if it's okay for you to say that word. It don't matter how you feel. Just like I can't have a hedge fund unless I go through the proper channels, you can't say N-word unless you go through the proper steps. However, there are consequences. If I just bust out a hedge fund and I start getting people to give me money, I'm going to federal prison because they already got parameters and steps you're supposed to take. If you say the N-word and you're around the wrong people, you might get your ass kicked. You might get your head knocked off because there's already steps and stages that already was set before you came here. People don't respect the word. They don't like it. If black people utilize that word as a term of endearment, they're not asking for your permission. They're not figuring out if you okay with it. It was already used to demography, take people down, kill African Americans at a point. So now we're going to use the word in our own level in our own circles, in our own little section. then you think you get to say it too? I just say try it. And then if whatever happened, the most thing they can do is put you in jail. But you're going to probably have a bad experience if you do that. So let's stop trying to equivalate the word saying that because somebody says it in a rap song that gives somebody license to use it because they play the music. You don't have to fucking play that music. If you play the music, then that's your choice. If you like the music, it's because you chose it. But we're not going to sit here and allow you to say something derogatory or negative, and then because of your job or because of your legacy, we supposed to erase it? No, you decided to say it. So after saying it, there's a consequence. Hence, if the black person says the N-word, his friends are okay with him. If the black person says the N-word on music, white people pay him. If you say the N-word, you can get your ass kicked. Somebody could fucking attack you. Why would you even want to do that? So if you feel like you the Hulkster and you pump all the weights and you got 20-inch pythons, might not be nobody run up on you and punch you in the face for saying the N-word. But your legacy, oh yeah, that's in my hands. Oh yeah, that's what I get to carry. You get nothing. Because as far as I'm concerned, how you felt is how I feel. I get to say the same thing back. But the legacy don't get to go down in history unless it go down in history with people who had the same ideology, mindset, and personality as you do. But if it comes to a black person, I get to determine that. So just by saying the N-word in a manner that I don't like it, I get to choose that. But just because somebody uses it in music, or somebody uses it amongst their friends, or somebody screaming out on the daggone in a building, in a movie theater, that don't allow you to walk outside and then start saying it and expect everybody to be okay with it because you just said it. Just like I can't start a hedge fund just because I see all this stuff on CNN and all these people talking about how much money they're making. I can't go start one unless I go through the proper channels. So just think about it like that. My boy Cowboy Day said, love, brother, we see it too. Cowboy Day said, don't shit on Hoaxer, brother. Jennifer said, hey, Olo, she on me hard. What's going on? And let's get back to Dave. Dave said the fact that saying the N-word makes you want to do physical violence only continues to empower the word. However, I appreciate that point, Cowboy. But if you think about it, black people do not inflict violence. And I like the word want. I like the word how you said the word fact. The fact that the word makes you want. That's a key word, in my opinion. In the history of the word, it actually made white people do the harm. You see what I'm trying to say? So it could make me thinking today in my house and in my studio saying, man, I could do some harm. But actually in the history of time, there's nothing but hangings. There's nothing but murders. There's nothing but all kind of negative stuff that happened to African Americans in the history of time being in this country. So saying a word, feeling a way, it ain't even close. So whereas somebody who we respected and admired and looked at with a term of endearment, who looked at him as a celebrity, and that's how he felt about black people, we get to choose. We get to determine. We get to make our own decision. Nobody got to agree with that. I don't think we got to agree. Nobody has to agree with that. You're going to hear more celebrities talking like that, feeling like that, making those points, and they just really wrong. And at the end of the day, the word is free. It's a freedom of speech place. We live in this country. But you still have to deal with the consequences of those words. Just like I would have to deal with the consequences of not only saying I have a hedge fund, but convincing people to get along with me and come on board. They're obviously not they're gonna probably listen and be convinced. But as soon as somebody don't get their first payment, I'm going to jail. And you know that. And you're gonna be hearing about me on the news and being like, that N-word just stole that money from them people. Appropriately used. Hit the like button. Show love. I appreciate y'all coming to check us out. We rocking out here again. Black Outrage number 30. And I'm actually really challenged up with a coffee headache right now. Sometimes you go through that. It's really tough. But no crybabyism. I still got on my show. I still brought you the content. I'm still bringing you the new technology. Look how I'm bringing you the content. Nobody else is bringing you content like this. It's so original. This is so just me. Hit the like button. Show love. Hit the ring bell. There's always new stuff coming in. We got so much conversation for you guys right on this channel, right here. We make movies. We make beautiful entertainment, conversation, content. Let's get back to the message.
Oh, with 3 Ks. Oh, with 3 Ks. Come on in here. Black wrestlers are calling you out for your racist ways. Or your real name, your government name, Terry Bollea. Ho, Hogan with 3 Ks. Let's take you back. I remember when with WWF back in the day, you Roddy Piper and Vince McMahon, who we won't talk about because his wife got hooked up by Trump. That's another story, another video. And we don't have to talk about Vince McMahon with his alleged Epstein Island action. But we're not going to go there. This ain't about that. It's about the hoaxer. But they did have business together. And you know what they say? Birds of a feather tend to flock together. But anyway, Shelton Benjamin, who I recall very well, I remember he was a TV champion. Just to watch that. Anyway, Hulk Hogan misspelled his name, said things. And there was a few other black wrestlers. What set them off is that Hulk Hogan felt so privileged to say the N-word. So we've been a little racist, we said the N-word. And he was also talking about his daughter's boyfriend, who happened to be black. And so Hulk Hogan took that, and he just was throwing these things out there. If you remember in L.A., some months ago, he got routinely booed. They tried to drown it out, but they were booing him for his racist ways and his racist rhetoric and how he tries to boo on his mega. See, the older he got, I don't know what he's been taking, but it didn't decapitate his head. So now he just be saying all kinds of things. He just like, oh, you know. Anyway, it went to a head because they wanted to bring him back, and you know, and it's embarrassing that this old fossil, this jive turkey now, all shriveled up, whole skin all shrunken in, all hair all orangey let me think of the character. I gotta think of the character. I'm gonna put like Richie Rich hair, or I can't think of someone's got golden yellow hair. But anyway, the point is that he looked all broke down and just trying to get the bag, trying hard to free it from Scooby-Doo. That's how it's like. And they trying to like make him all, you know, like they should as a product pitchman. He's trying to sell. Well, sure you can. Because I tell right now, Hulk Hogan could join Shalon Hendricks with the N-word and probably get a GoFundMe started to fund his agenda. He probably could.
So we see this guy is not liking what Hulk Hogan stood for, stands for, and was here for. He had a legacy in the game he was in, but leaving the statements out there like that was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So here's another video they got right here. They saying Hulk Hogan shakes hands with black people and then cleans his hand. I don't know if that's gonna actually be something you could look at as racist, because shit, I don't like touching people's hands, but damn so. But let's go see what he say. It's no audio for this. It don't look like. Oh, okay, I see him wiping his hand off. He got a towel in his hand. He got a towel in his pocket. But it's like, okay, so that's what they claiming is a moment they've been watching him, you know what I'm saying? So here go another one that they got. Let's see what he say right here. Mr. Hulk Hogan.
Lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother. What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother? All you...
So, you know, his allegiance was to his people, his kind, his route. You know, he did what he did, you know. But the part about dissing the black people over the situation with his daughter, that was probably next level. So let's go to this person's message. I actually listened to this guy a bit. His name is Tim Black. You probably heard of him, you probably haven't. But this the guy we about to listen to real quick, his message, and talk about it. So hit the like button, show love. I appreciate y'all coming over to the channel. Let's get to the content. See what they got to say out here about old Hulkster.
Hulk Hogan was 71 years old. WWE says they're saddened to learn of his passing and extending their condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans.
Wow, Hulk Hogan's gone. Sorry. I almost fell asleep there for a minute. I'm not one of them turning out the cheek, just overlook people that have said things they shouldn't have said about black Americans. I don't think white America would turn the cheek and overlook black people saying shit about them. I don't understand the people that have this attitude.
Hulk Hogan was 71 years old. WWE says they're...
It's pretty sad when your childhood idol, Hulk Hogan, turns out to be a racist piece of crap. Now, several years ago, he got busted using the N-word with a hard R many times. He cried and said, "Oh, it wasn't what
I ain't gonna play
First
that.
of all, it was down to the mustache, the head wrap, the ripped off shirt. I was going, what in the world? You don't understand. I was going, that's what I did. But this is real life.
Wow.
And I couldn't, it was crazy. You know, back when, years ago, when all this stuff was starting, back when it was Trump Hillary, I was getting calls from Time Magazine. They were like, hey, we see, you know, a lot of resemblances of what's going on. And I was like, yeah, but it'll never get that far. I was like, oh my God. We officially have went that far.
He's a goofy. There's no way around it.
Obviously, you know, he get.
But yeah, so and Hulk got a definite legacy because he's definitely been out there. Oh man, since I was a child, so I never thought that he was like that. You know what I'm saying? But you never actually see people and tell some of this shit. You just, you know, they're on TV, so you won't really have a conversation with them. You wouldn't really know. Let me see if this one rocking. If they're playing music, I'm not gonna rock it though.
Said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it.
Yeah, we're not gonna rock that one because it looked like it's playing some kind of audio music. I'm not familiar with that. But you saw him talking about that, so we got to find a segment where he's not actually playing music behind it. But there's a lot of people that have something to say, so that's why I was making a statement about it. Here's the guy who actually kicked it off. This is how I first heard about it. Ice Cube's son had mentioned something of a scenario with him after his death, so let's go.
Out the building.
I was one of them. I'll show you the video.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that about?
Me, Eric Andre, and Wale was giving it to him. Absolutely, bro. Yeah, I don't, you know.
But why though? Oh, so you don't mind me asking, but why?
The nigga hating.
Okay.
Yeah, the racism, bro.
Yeah.
It's just hard to forget how detailed that rant was. And if you look up his rant, it's very, it's very detailed. And, I get a lot of people online who are like, oh, well, he would be mad if he found out about that whole generation. Yeah, well, when I find out, I'll be mad. Or like right now, yeah, bro, bringing them out here. What did you think was going to happen? In LA, we heard the music and it was like, no, hold on. And they let them have it. And that's a pivotal moment in wrestling history. Big moment. And I'm glad I was there.
Yeah, I heard about that time he got booed at a show after the racist rant. So just like the first guy said, he had a rant that he did in 07. And it came out 8 years later. I guess his daughter recorded it or something like that. And then they released it in 2015. He died 10 years later. A lot of people are saying he died to the actual date of the release of that tape. So it's just one of those times when, and I appreciate what the first guy said. He said that if you heard my personal statements that I say to my family and friends, you would be trying to cancel me too. And that's definitely agreeable. You know what I mean? I understood that, obviously, because people are going to be private and say what they do privately. But that's the problem about being a celeb. That really is the problem about being a celebrity. Because if it does get out to the world, then everybody got a chance to decide against you or make a decision. It's just like doing a crime. It's like doing any crime you could think of. I mean, whatever. And you get caught. You did a crime, but you get caught. So before you do that crime, you have thoughts, you have ideas, you got missions, you got moments where you could decide to do it or not. You decided to do it, whatever. It's your business, your choice. When you decide to do it, and if you get caught, it's other people who start making decisions about your life. From that point on, they just decide from that point on about your life. Now you got to determine if you got a court date. You got to determine if you got to get lawyers or whoever going to represent you. You got to determine you're going to represent yourself. You got to decide if you want to judge. All of these decisions is because people are asking you, name it now. What's the decision? But after you decide those things, now they determine everything. What time you eat, what time you get out, what time you go to sleep, what time you work. Everything is determined by other folks. So that's something that you got to really take into account if you're going to be doing things. So when a hoaxer or any person that's doing a racially stigmatized or racially inertia kind of situation, other people get to decide after that. the people who might like you, the people who might hate you. And so those decisions, those determinations, it could actually matter about your legacy if you're rich like that. If you're a famous person with all that name quality, people get to decide after that. So it don't even have to be nothing negative you did. They could just decide about your lifestyle. You could come out of the bag or come out of the closet, whatever the fuck you decide to do. Other people get to decide. So you can't tell them, wipe your pain off. It's okay. That was ages ago. Oh, he only did that because of this, that, and the third. What that was an internal situation with him and his daughter, and they got out to the world, and now the world get to decide. And the decision, overarchingly, especially from people that look like me, is he's a racist bum and forget him. And so obviously the decades that he put into TV and made the millions and had an impact in some kind of way, it's all wiped away. Just like if you was a free person and you got caught, all of your free life is wiped away. None of that matters. From that point on, you're known as a felon, you're known as a felonious individual, and you got to live like that until death. They don't care that you can't get a certain age. I mean, maybe some of them you can expunge, but for the most part, a lot of crimes you stuck with it. So it's the same thing. It's basically an indictment, but it's not necessarily a criminal indictment where you got to go to jail. He still had a perfect life. He still lived opulently and rich and had things and traveled, and nobody's taking nothing away from his being on earth. It's just a legacy of what you're going to be remembered for. And if you think about it, people like Michael Jackson, you name them, they died and they might have had bad names before they died. At the time of their younger years, they was admired. But by the time they got into the latter part of their life, they was disrespected and hated. And that's the same situation with this guy, that it's just not going to be just a walk away and be like, okay, well, he passed, you know, that was last time. It's like, nah. And none of that determination about you guys use the N-word, none of that matter. None of that matter. You can say anything you want, you can feel any way you want to feel, but the people are going to make a decision, and it's going to be, a lot of times in the black community, the decision reverberates. It goes way out, just like a wave. It don't disaffect none of it. A wave affect all the water, and that's exactly what it is when it go about. And so, it really sometimes there's no reversing it too. It's not even like that. Like you can be like, oh, I'm gonna say I speak for everybody. No. When everybody spoke or when that thing come about, that's what it be. So it's stuck like that. I guess they say when it's up, then it's up. So let's get back to the message. Here go another guy with another determination and what he thinking and saying. Let's get to it.
That's black should be saying rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. Take a listen here, and then I'm going to give my biblical response.
And nobody that's black should be saying rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. I don't care how much a wrestling fan you are. I'm a wrestling fan too. But he said what he said. Let's throw some on the grill.
What makes this video crazier are the hashtags. Rapture, Second Coming, Jesus is coming soon, Jesus is coming, Christian hashtags. I don't know if he's just trying to get to the Christian community or if he's a Christian himself. Nevertheless, here's the problem with this. WWE legend Hulk Hogan gets baptized. Total surrender and dedication to Jesus. Well, Ty, that's just the news saying that. He posted it himself. Total surrender and dedication to Jesus is the greatest day of my life. No worries, no hate, no judgment, only love. So what this means is Hulk Hogan gave his life to Christ. Whenever a person gives their life to Christ, their sin is wiped away for good from a legal standpoint. Now, of course, we all still have to give an account for the bad things that we did at the Bema Judgment Seat of Christ, as the Apostle Paul said, but these sins won't keep us out of heaven. They are erased in that manner. So number one, if God can forgive them, so can we. I don't care if he said the N-word 1.2 billion times. After that's dipped under the blood, God doesn't hold it against them anymore, and neither should we. In fact, take a look at the danger of holding something against somebody when they've been forgiven. Do you remember this part of the Lord's Prayer that says, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors? As we. So us being forgiven is connected to us forgiving others, because when we come to Christ, we recognize that we have to forgive others.
All right, this guy going to a biblical, I guess, component, and that's not going to really push too far. It's almost like a cop-out, because they beat religion into black people. So you wouldn't even learn how to read unless you was reading the Bible. So him having that same psychology for somebody who was using racist behavior is typical. That's exactly what you're supposed to have, understanding for people who treat you bad or disrespect you. And I don't remember Hulk Hogan coming out pleading with black people or apologizing. I just don't remember. Maybe he did, but it ain't popping up, and I never saw that. So then the question would also be, why would somebody forgive somebody who never really tried to fight for clear relevancy about what he was trying to say? So, but technically, you know, that guy just using God. Everybody don't even believe in that religion, so it's not, you're not going to be able to read the Bible and then say, everybody okay, now y'all got it, okay, everybody y'all cool, okay, cool, because you're just basically trying to save somebody who is being evil, and everybody determined that he was being evil. So that you understand what I'm saying? It's almost like it's like the Kanye thing. It's like, you know, are you choosing to be a slave? Like, this is a choice at this point. Like, you don't have to. You know, if you want to, if you choose that, then that's your business. But you don't have to. It's not like you're gonna lose out. Well, who are you gonna lose out on? What you gonna lose out on? You know what I mean? Like, moving in a white neighborhood because you disagree with racism, or maybe you might not get a white girlfriend or something like that because you don't agree with racist people or racist behavior. What's the gain? I don't understand what you're gonna gain. What is it? Like, I said the two I could imagine: sexual access to the white culture, or maybe moving into the neighborhood where they live. Like that's the gist, because everybody got a job that white people control the companies. Like, so that you ain't gonna get a better job. You're not gonna get a degree that's gonna be so special because everybody can go to any school. So I don't understand it. If a person put out, as I think that lady Maya Angelou said it better than me. When a person, what she said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. So by believing what he was saying on the phone to his daughter, and now somebody telling me God should forgive him, well, that's between him and God. Like, I'm not God. I can only go by your actions and the way you act, and towards me or towards the world, and then that's how I could determine how you are. But I'm not God. I'm not the forgiver, the redeemer, none of those things. It's just, I'm just a person too. And if you come off the wrong way, then that's what you did. I didn't force you to do it or whatever. But anytime somebody starts spewing those words, especially the N-word with the hard ER, we understand that that's who they are. That's really why the word has been taken off the table for those cultures, because it's a real leveler of who you are. And then as you see the same 1-2 step from people who come off like that, they want forgiveness, they want understanding, but at the moment of question, they let out who they are. Like, okay, so we're supposed to believe who you tell us who you are. You might change, you might find God just like him did, or you might want to go into another place and with the monks. All of that's your business. That's choice that you choose. But you just also chose to come out here and put this information out here, and it stop us from respecting you. And that's just the end of it, But let's get back to the message from some more people, because a lot of people have been talking about this Hawk stuff, man. It's not going away. I mean, the guy just
Don't get caught with your pants down.
A week ago or less.
Elm is a dangerous game.
But it just shows you that nothing, you don't get away. You're basically captured by your actions. You're captured. I'm captured by my actions. It's no way around it. So if you do it and it's seen, or if you do it and it's heard, you don't get to wipe it off of people's brains and ears. Everybody still got to have the same understanding. But if you get caught, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? Yup. Steve O'Stoner said, hey, buddy, you should have stayed off the grid. Stephen Phillips said, but in the Lord's Prayer, we are not told to forgive as God forgive us. Right? But as I told you, Stephen, everybody don't really believe their religion. So in a country called freedom of religion, I have the right to not care about what your Bible say or what it make you believe or do. It's my choice. So if it made you believe that forgive as God, then that's your choice. This is called a country of not only freedom of speech, but also freedom of religion. This is what they do. Freedom of press. So you don't get to determine that because God anointed your particular media outlet that you're the only one that get to speak to people because you believe that the Bible said. No, that's not how it works in America. They determined that it's freedom in all of those areas: religion, speech, press. And that's the first one. So you don't get a chance to say, oh, well, in my, because I can do the same thing in my, and pull a book out and start pointing the pages. And so many other people can. That's why so many people on the planet, they determined that before we was even born. So we're not going to go in religion and start saying what God said, because your God and my God might have different determinations. And that's the most important point. That's why it's freedom in it. Secondarily, smoking Hulk pack is Strucker strong, brother. Yeah, I mean, he had no, what's the word I'm looking for? Filter when it came to talking to his daughter disrespectfully about our culture. He chose that. So it should be no filter on the comeback, because she knew that his daughter knew. You know, the person that he raised, the person that he bought the mansion for, the person that he let have a car, the person that he put through school, the person that he made sure food was in the fridge, the person that he took to school, the person he had bought clothes for, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. She knew that by putting that out about her father deep in the house, the stuff that he talked about amongst the house, standing by the aquarium in the house, he might be standing close to the TV, he might be getting ready to walk out the door. She's hearing him be himself. We not. We get to see him be the hoster. Camera, lights, action, and then he turn it on. Just like Stoner said, smoking a whole pack, brother. It's true. Yeah, we saw that guy. But she saw the guy who on that phone. So she had basically a little piece ready for him at any point. And so his child, loved one, his family, the person who he raised, decided this going out to the world. And when she did that, he's supposed to quell that. He's supposed to be like, hey, you told us gonna kill this. We're gonna move out this mansion. I'm sorry for what I said. You know, stand next to me. Let's go and tell the world. He got so much things he could have did, but they don't do that for whatever reason. Maybe they want to keep up the message because they got to still go in white neighborhoods. They still got white friends. They still got to go to white barbecues and white companies to do business. Maybe they don't want to put that message out there so they can seem like, why are you apologizing? You know, in the circles they in. We don't know, but he didn't really do that. So now, after the fact, people get to make decisions. You know, nobody, don't matter what you agree with. You're just gonna be uncomfortable the whole time. Brian said, but you got the nerve to politic about white skin. Brian and Leah said that? Oh shit, I thought that was Brian. My fault. I'm gonna pipe down, B. I'm gonna pipe down, B. Steve-O, they said they held Bibles while they hung us from trees. What God were you praying to? Ooh. Let's read that one again. Steve-O, son, they held Bibles while they hung us from trees. What God were you praying to? I said that was serious, because that does beg the question. That does beg so many questions. Like what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did it come from? And that's how we were learning how to read. You can understand why people have that psychology, even though you have enough brain waves to understand that that's just one way of thinking. That's not the world. It's not the entire world. Otherwise, it would be just one religion across the whole world, and we all know it's not like that. Free said Hulk Hogan was hated by so many great wrestlers. That probably was. You know, Brian and Liz, why are black Americans scared to go to sleep? Because the last one that had a dream got shot. Now, that one, I heard it before, so I can't say it was funny, but it was kind of funny. I mean, I heard that one before, though. Why are black people scared to go to sleep? Well, you said the last one, though, because that's what threw me off, the last one. I wouldn't say the last one had a dream. Because, you know, I guess that's what, I guess some white comedy or something. But thanks for the joke, my bro. That maybe it made you feel good today. Joaquin, he said, so is he racist or not? Man, what the hell Joaquin talking about? But that's comedy right there. You should have put some laughing emojis down there, Joaquin. That shit was funny. So is he racist or not? God damn, you still can't figure this shit out? He said white men don't sleep. Hell yeah, they've been motherfucking kidnapping and killing for some decades, no, some centuries. The hell? Ice Barefoot said, hello, I'm Lee from watching from England, and I had a shitty day. Could you please say hi? What's up, bro? Over there in England. England. Yo, Steve-O Stoner said, why did Austin Metcalf make it in track team? Because he couldn't make the cut. I really don't understand that joke, but I bet you it's something that is just probably above my pay grade. Because I don't know who Austin Metcalf is. It's probably somebody famous and important. But yeah, that was a good one too, man. I ain't too familiar with everybody now. Shit, I ain't gonna lie. But I heard of his name somehow. I don't know how. I don't know who the fuck he is. But Drive Far Away said, from the river to the sea, Aisha was 9, Muhammad 53. Whoo! I know what that mean, my brother. I know what that mean. Drive far away. I know what that mean, guy. Brian and Liz, boy, you going crazy with the thumbs because you know all this. That take work. I actually was leaving some comments in my homie Steve-O Stoner on here, and I was leaving some comments on one of his lives. I ain't understand how hard it is to even find the little box and then type it. I said, God damn, I gotta be more respectful to my commenters because that's actually work. I ain't understanding it. I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's actually working now. You got to find the thing, write it. I mean, I think it was spell checking out. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So let's read it. Brian and Liz, I'm starting to become racist, and I have a black family loved one. And well, I have black family loved ones and all that. Ooh. Well, don't get your ass kicked at Christmas party, because, you know, black people turn up on you, the ones that's real low-key and shy and act like they ain't like that. They like that. Joaquin said, hold up. Drive away say, nice one, bro. Appreciate it. Joaquin Morales said, oh my God, you actually said that name correct. Please usually say Jacqueline. Jacqueline, what the fuck? Hey, I'm laughing because my first name been butchered so bad in my life. You couldn't even, I mean, teachers, literal teachers, was calling me Luther. I'm like, who is this? I still had to get up and answer, but I'm like, I done told you my damn name 3 times. Like, so I get you, bro. I get you, bro. Let me see who else got a message up in here. Brian Liz said, y'all do it, talk to yourself. He said, y'all do it, talk to yourself. Brian Liz, black fatigue is old news. We're evolving into racist. Okay, I feel you. Charlie Montero, my neighbor is in Denver. He's hey, Charlie. Hey, F you, because you almost made me read that. You almost had me read that. That was close. That was close. I had to catch you, dude. Charlie, would you open a YouTube channel? Because that's the comedy I laugh at. I'm not even lying. Hold up, let me read this. Charlie said, for the last 8 years, I was harassed by an elderly Mexican gentleman with... That's too much description, man. Slow down. All right, hit the like button, y'all. Show love. We're going to get back to the message because I can be reading these messages all day. Everybody got the thumbs going crazy today. Norman Stubbs said, what's up? Steve-O said, I've got mayo fatigue. See, that's what I like brains for, because everybody coming up with new stuff that I could utilize. They're going to be thinking I'm so funny when I walk around telling somebody, man, I got mayo fatigue. Be like, where you get that from? Oh, I thought of it myself. They'd be like, get out of here. So anyway, Keanu said, yo, Aunt, would you rather watch a tree grow or... I'm going to take the second one just to throw you off. I'm taking the second one, bro. And let me throw a pause on that, too, in case there's somewhere in there. I feel like a pause should be added to that little statement right there. Shit, man. Brian Lynn said, I'm not really racist, by the way. It's just identity politics. Hey, man, Black Outrage, we have fun over here, man. Y'all got me in tears. I'm trying to be serious about this. This is like a real serious conversation. It's Black Outrage 30, and we talking about Hulk Hogan, and in a minute we're going to talk about the Cincinnati situation, but I know y'all going to be cracking jokes about that too. I know it, by the way. Oh, gosh. All right, let's get back to it. Hey, Brian and Liz, I just saw that, man. Blacks for Diddy. This dude, you having a good day, ain't you? You having a good day with your thumbs. I see that right now. All right, let's get to it. Let's go. Let's go. This is my boy, Boss Talk 101. So I fuck with this guy. He got great messages, conversation. Let's get to it.
Our dog, you knew him. They were that big. I liked Hulk Hogan. I liked his character. He was fun. I liked him in Rocky 3. But it was just disappointing, you know, when he just went off about black people, you know, using the N-word left and right, left and right. Even though, first of all, wrestling is racist as The Rock's dad went through that. White dudes saying the N-word is not uncommon.
For his connection, for his association with hip-hop. He's known widely for his connection, for his association with hip-hop, for his expertise on hip-hop. Some would call him a culture vulture.
Who Hulk Hogan is, who the great Hulk Hogan was. And like I said, I don't care about him endorsing Trump. I don't care about the stuff that was controversial. We're not going to be disrespecting the man with the 18-inch pythons, brother. We're not going to be disrespecting the Hulkster for the joy that he gave. Forget you as an adult, sicko. Forget you.
Wow, 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 guys. Make sure you
What up,
like,
RZA?
subscribe to the channel. Guys, hit that notification button. And also go download Boss Talk 101.app. As you heard,
I'm on the side of entertainment. These Sambos didn't say one word while he was alive. Now you're gonna talk about that R.I.P. You're a real piece of shit. That's that's real pieces. That's raps. R.I.P.S. First of all, and so what he say. Anytime you say the N word, you saying nigga anyway. So just say it. Quit tripping. The holster, he was phenomenal in wrestling, and Negroes, everybody wanted to be the holster. Now, the dome,
no, let me stop you right there, OG. Everybody. I wanted to be the JYD, the junkyard dog. I wanted to be Big Cat Ernie Ladd. I wanted to be Kamala. I wanted to be Hacksaw, not Jim Duggan, but Butch Reed. So don't come here trying to act like I wanted to be Hulk Hogan, because I was never a fan like that. That's the most.
Well, see, he tripping, because everybody most times was fans like that with Hulk. He had a big ass fan base, and he made a lot of legacy moves. I mean, there's nobody could deny that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the racial part. People ain't letting him live down, and they looking at it like he just really crossed the line. But I mean, what can you say, man? Again, that's just kind of teach you, like, if you're trying to be celebrity driven, I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's hard for anybody to try to be like. Come on, think about this. This dude was a celebrity when I was a kid in the fucking 80s, man. You talk about 35, 40 years ago, literally. So he's not gonna have that same respect and fame. It's just not, it can't last that long. It's no way it can last that long. It's like, come on, 30, 40 years. Look at Bill Cosby. He's been a celebrity for 50 years, and he ended up going to damn jail as an 80-year-old man. So it's like, if you're a celebrity, look at Diddy. He been a damn celebrity since the 90s. I was like 20, 22. Now, all this way in the future, and he in jail. He's sitting in a damn jail cell. So to think that you're going to be a celebrity for 50, 70 years, 30, 40 years, it's not like that. They showing you that it's not like that. It's like you're going to end up getting your ass locked up for something. Some reason, I don't know, was you treating people wrong back in the day? It's just nobody get to be a celebrity for damn near 3-4 decades. It's just, they stopping that. If it used to be like that, it ain't no more. It ain't no Sammy Davis Jr.'s and ain't no Dean Martins. What's that other dude? I forgot his name back in the day. Frank Sinatra. That's over with. It's like you get probably a 7 to 10 year run, and then you probably get in real estate or some shit and get the hell out the business, because somebody gonna have a problem with you and they gonna want to see you crash and burn. Even if they just using something you said in your younger time frame, they still at your neck. So it's like, you ain't gonna be no legend forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get over here to the Cincinnati situation. Y'all heard about what went down over there. Some people jumped on some white folks, and it's crazy because they arrested the black dudes and putting them in jail. And it looked like a female went down as well. And it looked like the white dude might have started all this shit. So let's get to the message.
A third person's been arrested in connection with that violent brawl at 3 o'clock in the morning, late Friday night, early Saturday morning in Cincinnati. The video is graphic. The street fight caught national attention when videos of the incident went viral, with even the White House weighing in on it. 3 suspects are being charged with felony assault and aggravated riot. CB Cotton's got the follow-up. She's live in New York City, and some of this has history for those involved. And CB, good morning to you.
Bill, good morning. We've learned the FBI has now opened an investigation into that vicious brawl, as 3 out of the 5 suspects who've been arrested so far are expected to be arraigned this morning. The 2 men and 1 woman are now all facing charges of felony assault and aggravated riot. The suspect in the middle of your screen, Montanez Merriweather, was indicted earlier this month on other felony charges. According to Cincinnati's police union, which sounded off on the court system, saying Merriweather only had to pay $400 to post bail and walk out of jail on those previous charges. In the horrific video, you can see a white man being repeatedly punched and kicked by a group of black men and women in downtown Cincinnati on Saturday at around 3 a.m. Then you see a woman get knocked out cold with blood on her face, and bystanders are just recording on their phone.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna play all of the graphicness in it because you know they go crazy on the channel. RZA said, "Is Hawk the GOAT?" No, that's Ryan said that. RZA said, "I was taught to don't idolize nobody. It would save your feelings from being hurt." That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, you know, we can't idolize humans because people are flawed. People make mistakes, and that's just that. You know what I'm saying? Also, hit the like button, show love. Black Outrage, number 30. We are moving on to the second part of the content, and we're talking about this people who got jumped in Cincinnati. Yeah, I guess it was a party. They said the security, they walked the street, leave at 2 a.m., and the fight kicked off at 3 a.m. And so it's like this crazy brawl that happened, and people are going crazy about it. Obviously, they're arresting people, not putting you straight down, you know, because there was a white guy who got punched out, and there was a point in the video where a lady get hit, and she goes straight, I mean, then he knocked her out completely. This guy he knocked this lady out completely. Whoever this guy is, I don't think they caught him. I don't see him in the picture, the guy who punched her in the face like that, but she went down. She's a white lady, so you know the news is going crazy. But I was tweaking about it because in my opinion, I said, well, let me let this police captain chick tell you what her opinion is about what all this is. But quickly, while we got to go through this little quick commercial, I thought that it's crazy how they shift the narratives depending on the state, because I think this happened in Cincinnati, Ohio. But if you remember in New York, it was a white guy who choked out a black guy, and he actually killed him. And everybody on the news was saying, oh, you got to watch how you act in public. You got to watch how you act. And sometimes it could be some people, you know, people have the right to be in privacy. People have the right to be able to travel without any problem. So let's fast forward back to the future. In another state, Ohio, this white guy from the video punches a black dude in the face. So a group of people mob out and kick his ass. He's still alive. He still lived. Yeah, it was brutal. Yeah, it was crazy. And who want to go through some shit like that? But then think about the dude in New York who get choked out from behind. He don't even know this shit finna happen. And the guy grab him and hold him in a chokehold. 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 3 minutes to his death. Which one you think was more horrific? So the TV and the news media trying to bring such more awareness of a fight and a brawl that was even initiated by somebody, meaning he made physical contact with this person, versus a person who get on the train, like we've all had to experience, some weird person get on the train being loud, maybe stinking, maybe asking you a question you don't want to say or answer. And so now all of a sudden, this is more horrific. So again, by states, they try to determine what's more. Well, over here, we got to hold your ground. And over here, you can bring a gun out. That's bullshit. At the end of the day, everybody humans. And if you put your hands on somebody, they technically got the right to fight you back. And if they got their family member out there, their cousin, their nephew, their son, they're going to also want to put some victimhood on you. So don't be doing that to people. And if you do, you better have your back. You better know how to stand up with a crowd fighting you. If you don't, then you're putting yourself in a precarious situation. And there's bad consequences for shit like that. They teach you that as a kid. Matter of fact, in every class across the nation from the ones you was in, not the ones today, me and you, we was in school, and they told us this one statement. No matter what class you was in, no matter even if you got on a bus, you could have been on the school bus going to a place, and they said this statement to you. Even your parents told you this statement. Keep your hands to yourself. They told you that. They told you this as a child. So if you got grown and you decided for whatever reason to not stand by that rule, it's consequences. And that's just uncomfortable and unfortunate, but that other guy in New York never touched nobody. He just got on there being a homeless person. Maybe it was too loud. Maybe he threatened people, whatever, but he never touched nobody. And he's dead. This guy get to go to work next week. He might have to scrape himself off, or I got to check myself in public, whatever he do, but it's to continue, have birthdays, watch the game, travel in his car. So it's kind of convoluted if you ask me. But let's get back to the message.
Surrounding that downtown assault and left at least 2 people hurt. Thanks a lot for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Mike Dardis.
Good evening to you. I'm Cherie Colillo. Viral video of the attack has in the national spotlight for all of the wrong reasons. WLWT News host Karen Johnson live for us downtown tonight, trying to get answers to many of your questions. Hi there, Karen.
Hey, Cherie. Yeah, I know the public has many questions, but so far we're getting very few answers. A lot of key evidence in this case that are public record, such as 911 calls, police reports, footage from street cameras, still not being released. Just after closing time for downtown bars and clubs, an assault in the heart of Cincinnati. Video that has now been shared by members of the Department of Justice gone viral. Cincinnati police say only one person called 911. WLWT is still waiting for a copy of that call that was reportedly placed at 3:06 a.m.
First officers were on the scene at 3:12 a.m. The fight was over with when the officers arrived, and the majority of the participants were gone.
WLWT has records requests in to see how many officers were working in the Central Business District when the bars let out. Chief Terry Thigi says the Street Crime Task Force worked until about 2 a.m. We know at least one of the responding officers was wearing a body camera. Also, to our count, there are 6 cameras on buildings near West 4th and Elm Street that may have captured part of the incident. A public records request is in for all of the footage. As for charges,
And we have charged 5 people in this offense.
but their identities and the charges remain sealed. As for the victims, Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy says he's been in touch with the woman who was seen beaten on the ground.
Thankfully, she appears to at least be gradually recovering based on her conversation with me.
And you know, we can possibly learn more details tonight. There is a meeting at 6 o'clock at the main library between city leaders and people who live and work down here. The meeting, I'm told, was actually scheduled prior to Saturday morning's incident. As the folks who live around here tell me, safety concerns has been an ongoing issue. Reporting live downtown tonight, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
By the way, several downtown restaurants, including...
So that lets you know that it's a real problem, and they try to lock them people up. But it's really more messages out there where people explain exactly how it happened. And I'm going to try to get back to those messages because I kind of watched a lot of this stuff earlier just to see what was going on and why all this stuff happened, because it's really crazy. You keep seeing this stuff. I'm not really trying to even talk about this kind of stuff, but when you see what's happening in the way they're trying to skew the messages, and they skew the messages because when they try to lock these guys and girls up, they want the people to already have the mindset that they criminals. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and again, in this new state over here where they get to prosecute for fighting, they're not going to let up. These people are going to probably go do some time. You see the lady having to come out there, the prosecutorial lady having to come out there. I mean, the chief or whatever have to come out there and talk. They don't like to do that. It's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? To come out there and have to talk and put the message out there again. So it's like, you got, late at night, mob action. And that's really what the lawyers got to bring to attention. Like, it's mob activity. It's a lot of people on the street. People get carried away when they're in groups. But that ain't gonna probably let the people give them no play. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's what you're supposed to do, because that's exactly what happened. You don't know how you're gonna act in a mob scenario. You know what I'm saying? But that's exactly what that one is. You know what I'm saying? So it looked like they putting a 18-year-old thing.
Listen,
on this particular message, they putting an 18-year-old thing on this message, so I might not be able to play much of this. So I'm just gonna cut up to this white guy talking, because white people determined they got to talk about this too. They spoke about this, so that's why they brought an 18-year-old here, because nobody is agreeing with the victim in this particular situation, obviously, that happened in the States. So let's see.
You know what? You would not have survived OG COD lobby days. You would have ended up taking your own life. Let's be real. But words are instigating and starting a fight by smacking someone in the face that ended up taking place in that. Like, that's how the whole thing started. Truly, that's how the whole thing started. Because I guess they were bickering and bitching at each other on both sides of it, like, beforehand. And as soon as that dude up in that is literally when it ended up popping off. And that is not what the media is showcasing.
Update on the Cincinnati Brawl, which MAGA is so pissed off about, it's actually broken through to legacy media. I just saw it on NBC, but 5 suspects have been charged in connection. They're not saying who. We don't know which side of the fight they were on, hopefully, who actually started the entire fight by using racial slurs. The guy, which you can see on video. You can see him chirping, which is when I'm guessing he was using the slurs. He popped it off was him slapping the guy. What was coming his way, MAGA? You don't want to fight, don't put hands on people. You don't get to complain. I swear what y'all are really pissed off about is black people defending themselves. How dare they? You thought Trump winning means that black people just have to accept whatever kind of treatment you want to give them. You can say whatever it is that you want to say, and they just have to take it. No, dude got exactly what was coming to him.
So you can see that no matter what color the people are, they are all against the person who they're deeming to be the perpetrator in that particular situation. So who's right, who's wrong, you know, what's the, it's like this is always happening in the world with these type of things, you know. It's everybody is pissed off, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think that if people just show more respect to each other, you won't even have all of these problems coming about. You know what I'm saying? It's like this stuff is only happening because people not showing respect to each other. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's like basically at the end of the day, if you don't show respect, things can go wrong. And that's across the board. Like who want to be disrespected? Who want to be hurt? Who want to be slapped around? You know what I mean? It's selective justice. Steve Stone said it's selective justice back with a racist bias. Rizal Muhammad said, don't blame it Trump though. That's liberals that mainly be on that. But I just think that it's the same thing. Like you want to say it's like it's a human thing. You know what I mean? Everybody is being okay with the fact that, you know, let me see, stop that. Sorry. Yeah, but you know, I think that if we stop all of the negativity with each other, we won't even have to even go through this kind of craziness, you know what I'm saying? But it's always some crap, you know, but we gonna talk about it right here at Black Outrage. We're gonna make sure that we bring it up and bring some attention to it, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, a lot of these things need to be discussed because otherwise it's just constantly going on and everybody getting away with the same nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We all are stuck on the same little surface or circumstances with each other, living in the city, living in our cities, living in our communities, but beefing with each other, it ain't never got nobody nothing. You know what I mean? Let me see if my boy who actually here he is right here. Let me see what he got to say about this. This is the guy who channel I be actually watching. His name is Street Media TV. So I want y'all to check him out if you feel like getting more information about what he got to say. Let him talk about it real quick.
Beaver Falls, Altoona, right? York, PA. What do you think they're doing in these towns? Scranton, huh? What? What do you think that they're doing? It's funny how, but they just cover their stuff up. They always talk about the prison system. And they say, well, we only represent 13% of the population, but we represent the majority in prison. But do you know that we represent 51%